Hi everybody, welcome to my session today called The New Normal, and I'm really excited to present the session to you tonight. One of the reasons that I am so excited is because I have been keeping track of everything that's been going on, the trends, the kind of chaos that's been going on in the world, or really at least in my world, which would be learning and development, since COVID started. And so that was the idea for this presentation. It's to, what's our new normal? What does it look like for learning and development professionals? What does it look like for facilitators? What does it look like overall? And how can we grow and change with this, just by keeping atop of all the trends? And so my name is Wendi Barlow, and I live in St. Charles, Illinois. I'm in the Chicago suburbs over here. The map makes it look like I'm on the Iowa border, and where it says I love Chicago, that looks like I'm in Iowa, but I'm not. I'm closer to Lake Michigan over there to the right of the screen. But I am about an hour from downtown Chicago. And we have right now a ghost town. COVID has brought about a ghost town in Chicago. I'm sure you have a ghost town in KL and some of your larger urban cities. And one of the things that we'll talk about today is, what does this mean for those of us living in larger urban areas when we have a ghost town and all of a sudden 5 years from now we're all working from home and we still have ghost towns, right? So that's kind of an interesting topic that may be an opportunity or a threat when we get deeper into our topic tonight, as we're talking about trends and what we can do with that. So this is our agenda tonight. I've got really basically 4 topics. So our welcome, which we're in the midst of right now. Then we're going to talk about the 3 big trends that I've gathered from my research. We're going to do a SWOT analysis, see what you remember from the pre-read, and we've got some next steps. Okay, so a call to action, so to be. Hopefully that you'll be committed and motivated to move on with this in the future after today's webinar. So a couple of housekeeping rules before we get started. If we get kicked out of Zoom, this is our meeting information. I put some Malaysian numbers on this slide, so if you'd like to take a control print screen to grab it. But if we lose internet or Zoom goes down, we can always jump back on a quick call. So this would be our contingency plan. Tools we're going to use tonight, well, in addition to using chat, we're going to use a Zoom toolbar. We're also going to be muting and unmuting, stopping and starting videos. And this would be if we go into breakout rooms. Participant icon, make sure you have that open if you want to send me any messages, and reactions if you want to give me a thumbs up or an applause if you like something. Because you have some handouts that I gave you, and I'm going to give you a blank handout later on that you may use. You may want to exit your full screen. You'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, you've got an enter full screen and an exit full screen. If you exit full screen, this gives you the Zoom windows, like a Windows command, and that little square box allows you to reduce your Zoom window so that you can open up a PowerPoint or a Word document or something else, or an internet tab while we're in session. So I recommend this. Sometimes when you click on these little minimize or reduce tabs, what ends up happening is your Zoom window may disappear. It becomes very small. Just look for it. If you're using 2 monitors, it could be on the second monitor. To get back to the full view, just click on that green arrow and you'll be back in session with us. Or not back in session, but you'll be back in a larger view. Some other tools that we're going to use tonight are your annotate tools. So this would be on the top of your screen. You're going to see something up there in green that says you're viewing Wendy's screen. You also see a view options in white letters up there. When you click on the drop-down menu, you'll get the annotate function. And when you click on annotate, you should have the toolbar. Tools we'll use tonight are text, stamp, undo. If you make a mistake, feel free to undo anything. If you're typing, you're like, oops, I want to put something else. And if you ever want to get back to your mouse so you can, get off of using all of those tools, all you have to do is click here on your mouse. Now, show me that you know where to use these tools. And this is a map of Malaysia. A little bit earlier, you saw that I had a heart there on Chicago. So where is a heart? Where do you live in Malaysia? So put some bars, okay, on the slide. So click on your There I see Nazreen, I see Patrick. Okay. Patrick is over there. You guys are just outside of Kuala Lumpur, it looks like, just south. So is Tej. Nazreen, you're over there by Buddha. Okay, it looks like. Okay. And Warren, I see a circle there. I see that you're exploring and playing around outside of the heart. That's good. And it looks like there is a mosque there. Is that a famous mosque that I don't know? Mala, I see where you're circling.
Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
Who's that?
Drawing up at the top.
That's not actually Buddha. That's Lord Murugan.
Who is it? Lord who?
Lord Murugan is in Batu Caves. Is it the biggest statue in Malaysia or biggest statue in the world?
In the world. In the world.
In the world. I saw this map, y'all, and y'all are going to have to teach me a little bit about this outside of our session. I thought this was so interesting, and now that you told me it's the largest statue in the world, I'm going to have to come over there and visit.
Will you come to Malaysia?
What? I'm sorry?
Come to Malaysia and we'll take you.
You already have a tourist guide waiting for you.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
Yeah,
and Mala, I promise I won't ask you to take me out earlier than 10 a.m., okay? I promise.
Okay. No, it's okay. Don't worry. I get up very early. I get up at 5. So it's okay.
Well, thank you, everybody, for letting me know that, or showing me, actually, that you could use your tools. So I'm going to clear them now. And let's go on to the next slide. So our next slide, click on the screen, is jump into the 3 big trends. Now, I've been gathering research since May, June, and July. I don't have anything new from August yet, but because things are changing so quickly. I'm a big Trekkie fan. So if anybody likes Star Trek and you like the Mr. Spock symbol right here, we're at warp speed when it comes to trends, when it comes to post-COVID, okay? And I would say warp 15. And how I came upon the idea for this presentation was in June. In June, I think it was June 14th, I attended a business meeting here in St. Charles, Illinois. It was all virtual. And there was a free Zoom account. And it was like we were at the 39th minute of that session, or of that meeting, whatever we were doing. And somebody said, I wish this would end. I wish we could go back to normal. And I said, we're never going back to normal. And at that point in time, what ended up happening is we just disconnected, but then the organizer called me in 5 minutes and said, Wendi, I got emails from 10 people. They want you to come back in 2 weeks and talk about and expand upon your sentence. We're never going back to normal. Okay, so the 3 big trends according to the Chambers of Commerce from the United States, from Malaysia, from around the world. Here we go. So the first big trend that is obvious is that everything that, let me just close this. Just going to close my window here. This crisis is forcing anything which can digitize to digitize. Think about how many devices you have. Put in the chat room if you've had to purchase more devices as a result of COVID, or more office equipment, or anything digital. I, for example, have had to purchase different things. So go ahead and put it into chat. If you've had to purchase anything for your home office or set up your home office differently because your children are at home or your family members are at home, just anything different, go ahead and put it out there. We've had to purchase another computer monitor. My husband did. He's an engineer. He usually has 3 monitors at work. So he has got those. He's got, we had 1 downstairs. We've got 2 more. And I am having to order a new desk chair to go down because he took my desk chair with both of us working at home. I'm looking in chat. It looks like a tablet, a ring light, earphones, and a backdrop. This is Nazreen, I have to order a ring light too. Now I'm moving downstairs and I don't have the right lighting that I have here in the kitchen. Okay, a roomie's going to have to purchase a new laptop, a ring light, cooling fan. Warren is yet to. Mala, not really. It's just you, so you have everything, right? That's good. But you changed my workplace. You're in your bedroom now, right, Warren? So now you have to get.
I'm in my dining area.
Yeah. Oh, in your dining area, Mala? Okay, yes. That's where I'm at. I'm in my dining area too, and I've got these nice overhead lights above me. And Tej, you're learning how to use Zoom. Yeah, and you're forced to learn MS Teams and WebEx. If we're working with a lot of different people, we have to be nimble in all those tools. And so we just have to use all of that software, and we may need different devices. Sometimes I can't get in. So I have to call in, to Zoom with my phone. So we're using multiple devices. Also, people, I don't know about you, but many people here had a basic internet plan, and they found out that they can't get into Zoom because they only had 6 megabytes per second or 40 megabytes per second. And, you need like 250 megabytes per second if you're going to be on Zoom and doing all this stuff, at least 100. Patrick, you had to learn to work from home. Save that thought, Patrick, because that's the next trend, and we're going to talk about that, okay? So, and you had to call help. So thank you, Nazreen. It looks like people have got a lifeline, right? What's the name of that game where you have to have a lifeline? Nazreen is ours, okay?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
So a real quick poll here, and this is just on our screen. What's your industry? Put a check mark if you're training, restaurant, accounting, retail, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, other, and if you're other, go ahead and type it on the screen. Just click on the text tool and find a spot, grab your real estate, and tell us what that other industry is. Okay, I see Warren has got training. Who else? Go ahead and put a tick mark. Nazreen has got learning and you're going to add on there, Nazreen. I see that. Training, learning, and
Zoom is blocking me from adding. I don't know why.
Zoom is blocking you from adding?
Yeah,
so Nazreen,
I'll have to redo.
There you go. Great. Just go in. Yes, perfect. So just go ahead and click, or you can put it into chat if you're not able to get it on the screen. So what's your industry? Training, consulting, auditing, says Tej. Akil says education. Mala's got other with insurance. What kind of insurance do you work with, Mala?
Oh, basically I'm not working in insurance, but I do communications, admin work. I'm heading communication departments, internal, external comms, branding, marketing.
Okay.
For an insurance company.
Okay. And we've got life insurance here. Is this Patrick? Patrick, are you saying life insurance?
Yes, I'm saying life insurance.
Okay, my brothers are in life and health insurance too, like you. Okay, and we've got learning and performance, Nazreen. We see that. So thank you for telling it. So most of us are either in insurance, it looks like, or education, learning, and Tej, I'm in training, consulting, and you've got an extra one there. It says auditing. Okay, what type of auditing is that, Tej? Is that accounting? Or
No, based on the ISO standards.
Okay, so ISO auditing. Okay, ISO is what many of us call that, right? Okay, so thanks everybody. This is kind of really important to know your industry. So let me save my slide here. So I just want to save it, okay? Now, let's go on to the next slide. So how has the digital world changed your industry since COVID? What has happened in your industry since COVID? And this was one of your pre-read questions. So you should already know the answer to this or know what's going on. Patrick is scared of Tej now. Nah, okay, we won't audit each other. So what's going on? I'm gonna open up the microphones. Go ahead, throw it out there. Let's have a conversation. Chat live instead of in the text. How has the digital world changed your industry since COVID?
We need to go more into digital products, like from insurance perspective, come up with online products from a digital perspective.
Yes. So you have to have more online products, right?
Products, and then we need to have these online products work for you, like how to buy an insurance using online, how to settle easy, how to apply for claims. So those were the new things from a digital perspective that we had to get on board soon, fast.
Okay. And very quickly, you had to do that like overnight, right, Mala?
Yep, exactly. We had to get the IT department to work full time.
What about digital apps? Did anybody have to do digital apps?
I
We had an online app also, a mobile app. Came up with an online mobile app.
Who else had to, in addition to Mala?
I had to, actually, because of COVID, my company finally started listening to me and finally launched our e-learning and also our e-submission platform. So our company finally decided that, hey, we should have this function. And I told them we should have had this function since 2008. And yeah.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? They always put it on the back burner. The budget was never there, right? And then now all of a sudden, it's at the forefront. You have to have it. Yeah, so that's great. Well, thank you, everybody. So let's go ahead and move on to the next trend. So the next trend is I don't see a return to normal after this. So now we're getting into working from home. Okay, this is what Patrick was saying. He had to learn how to work from home, right, Patrick? Yeah, what happened? How did you have to learn how to work from home?
I'm quite extroverted, so I like going out. I don't typically like sitting at home. So forcing me to sit at home and working from 9 a.m. to, actually my boss that has no cutoff time. So sometimes he asks us to work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. So working from home seems to be like working 24 hours for people like me. And also, if I don't see, I just see my four walls. I just see I just see myself. I don't see any of my colleagues or my friends. So I get very edgy and angsty, and I get very irritated, and I don't manage my time well at home. I noticed that because there is no lunchtime. It can be lunchtime for 3 hours, or it can be lunchtime 20 minutes. So that's what I learned from.
Or 2 minutes, right? Sometimes you don't even have a lunchtime, right?
You don't even have a lunchtime. You say, "Oh, it's lunchtime." You forgot. So yeah.
So
But
Patrick,
I agree with Patrick. I agree with Patrick because management thinks that, just because you work from home, at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's a message that you have to come up with a press release, or you got to come up with these corrections. So we work a lot harder when we are working from home.
Yes. Kamala, you understand each other.
Yes, of course, I understand you totally. Like this morning, I got up and I had to do a press release, and I'm like, I got the whole day with all of you guys. So it's like that. I wish we returned to normal at some point. I still like the face-to-face.
That's a really good point, Mala, and that's why I created this. Now, there are some companies out there, and I'm happy to send you the resources, but about 3 or 4 years ago, there were some companies who have had a work from home environment for 20 years. Nazreen and I worked at Accenture. Accenture rolled out work from home after September 11, around September, like 2001, 2002. And they started closing down businesses because of the consulting workforce. They found that nobody was in the office. They had 30% of the workforce sitting, their buildings were 70% empty. And so that's when they designed a work from home program. So they've been doing it for a long time. Well, these companies have created ground rules. And some of the ground rules are that you can work anytime you want, but you can't send an email after 9 o'clock at night or before 7 in the morning. Okay, so they have these ground rules so that employees don't feel that when they see a boss's email come in at 6 o'clock, they have to immediately respond.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
So there's some best practices out there. Now, so here's some more statistics for you. Are you ready?
Yep.
31%.
Hey.
Yeah, 31%. So this survey was done from Training Industry Conference. This is an international conference in June of 2020. And basically 31% of the people that responded to their survey said that COVID was a trigger for remote work. Video is now used in team meetings 2 times more than before. This is from Microsoft. Total video calls grew by over 1,000% in the March. I wish I would have had stock in Zoom, right? Okay. Organizations should expect that 75% of their staff will expand their remote work hours by 35%. And they found, and which many of us have known for a long time, that remote workers are 30 to 40% more productive than people who work in offices. It's probably all those extroverts stopping to say hello, right? I'm sure all the introverts in the world love working from home because they're getting stuff done that they couldn't before, right? My husband is one of those.
I hear you.
Yeah. Deanna, I saw Deanna smile, not Deanna, Rumi smiling, right? And so many people are happy to be working from home, probably half the world. Now, this is an interesting statistic. It says that 77% of executives say that allowing employees to work remotely may lead to lower operating costs. This is what's important. This is where they're going to say, do we really need to have buildings anymore?
Yeah.
Because, right, if they don't need to have buildings, well, what's going to happen is the expense will shift to people. not going to reimburse us for our electricity, or at least they haven't in the past. There could be a new mission on this by employees. They may get angry, but who's paying for the electricity? Who's paying for the printer? Who's paying for the toner? Who's paying for the internet? Before you got it from the employee, now you have to pay for your own. And companies have not traditionally reimbursed for that. But so if they start to shift, you're also going to see some changes possibly in employment law, right? Now, 74% of companies plan to permanently move to remote work. Permanently. Isn't that interesting?
That means there's going to be a glut of office buildings, right, in the future?
Yeah. Yes. What are you going to do with all those urban areas that I was talking about? All those empty buildings? Are they going to become residential? What?
Shopping malls. Shopping malls.
Yeah, shopping. Residential places. It reminds me of one of those horror movies, you know, like one of the zombie movies, right? You're going to have all those empty buildings. I see Warren is smiling at that, and Patrick.
Oh. Turn them into car parks, right, Warren? So that everybody can go to the shopping mall and park at these empty buildings.
Well, just think about real estate. They've got new things for real estate selling. Just imagine buying a car. I think the millennials are going to get their wish. Millennials just want to like go and buy their car online and have it delivered to their front door. They don't want to go to a car dealership and haggle with people. And so just imagine everything will change. You know, it's crazy, all the digital apps that you'll have to have. So these are some statistics for you. And this is an interesting one too from the same survey. It said pre-COVID, 22% of employees preferred working from home. People said, I don't want to work from home. I don't think I'm going to like that, right? But post-COVID, 77% of employees prefer working from home. They're like, this isn't bad. I don't have to drive an hour each way to work. I save two to 3 hours a day on my commute. I can be home with my family. I can push away from my desk. I've got a little bit of work-life balance.
I can wake up late.
Work-life balance. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I can wake up late.
You can what? Wake up late? Sleep late?
I can wake up late.
Yeah. Or you can go to, you can wake up late? You mean you can sleep late, right, Nazrin?
Because I don't need to beat the traffic jam to work.
Exactly. And look, how many of you are saving gas right now? My gas bill is on both of our cars probably was $200 to $300 per month, right?
Yeah, I've saved a lot.
Yeah.
By
We're
working
like,
from home.
you know, a full tank every month, maybe every 2 months. You have to be careful. Your brakes may wear out. So get out there and drive your car so your brakes stay good. But yeah, Nazrin, we save an hour every day. We're saving money working from home. We get to see our families. I don't envy people who have children who are in school age, though. I think it's going to be very challenging to try to work with kids at home.
But you know, Wendy,
yes,
just an observation. When Patrick said that he's an extrovert and he likes to go out, I'm also an extrovert and I like to go out, get dressed, wear makeup and go to work. So, you know, a lot of people with COVID and staying at home, they just stay in their nightgowns and you know, they don't comb their hair and all that. And I decided I'm going to every day in the morning get up and do my same routine and just sit at home and do my work because it makes you feel good.
You have to, right? You know, guys,
I think that's important.
That's
what Mala said is actually very true, because those days when remembering when we were locked down, I totally did not put on any makeup, and 2 months later when they open up, I actually sat at my dressing table and I forgot what this cream is for. I said, what am I supposed to?
Your husband very happy because we don't waste money buying creams.
Oh yeah, that's true.
True. You save a lot.
So, you know, I want to do an informal poll here, just quickly.
Yeah.
So click on your participant. Can you see your participant window? I'm not sure. It. How about this? Rename your name. So click on your window where you can rename your name. Does everybody know how to do this to rename yourself?
Yep.
So put in your first name, and if you're an extrovert or an introvert. Okay.
How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you
just click on your own window with your face, your own window, and you'll see up in the right corner there's a mute button, and then there's a little
yes.
Click on the dots.
Rename.
It says
Okay.
rename.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, okay.
Extrovert. We've got Tej. What are you?
Introvert. Let me see. How do I do that?
Who's
Uh,
Tej?
Dash, on your video, there are 3 buttons in the blue box.
On the video, video.
On
Your
your
video.
own video.
Yeah.
Is it under select a camera? No.
Can you see mine? Then
So hold
Wendy,
on,
can you
guys.
see mine?
So, guys, hold on. Let me give Warren, Tej, and Deanna instructions, okay? So,
Oh, under video. Okay. More.
so
Okay.
click on your own specific video.
Rename. Okay, understand.
Yeah. Warren, did you find it?
Yes.
Did you rename yourself if you're an introvert or an extrovert? Okay, Akil, you're an ambivert. Okay, thank you. We've got a roomie who's an introvert. Nick, what are you? Are you an introvert? Nazreen, you are not an introvert. I disagree with that. You are an extrovert.
Yeah, Nazri is extrovert. He's just trying to be very, very docile here, Nazri. And that's why men wake up
look
looking
at the
fabulous.
clues.
No.
Look at the clues. I created the VLC.
Yeah, okay.
What
Extroverts can
you're
create
seeing
it
is
too.
me having fun at home.
Oh, yes. Men don't shave. Mala says that. That's what people in men are doing. They're not shaving anymore.
So many of them have come with beards and they look horrible.
Folks, so thank you for
Crazy.
doing this. And Deanna, oh, by the way, Deanna, you're saying you're a bit of both. So if you scroll around on your little window, you can see what everybody is. There's a little arrow that lets you see everybody, at least it lets me. Oh, Tej, you're an introvert, and Warren, so it looks like we're half and half, introverts and extroverts. It's quite interesting. And I'm a kind of an ambivert too. I can sit at home alone for a month, but I need to talk to somebody at some point in time.
Warren, what are you, Warren? You are an extrovert.
I'm an introvert.
I can tell you. No, you're an extrovert. Straight away, I can tell you, you're an extrovert.
You guys, I can
rename it.
tell that. You guys, you can tell the introverts immediately because they're the ones that are not talking.
Yeah.
The ones that are really
Nazreen-
quiet. Look at like
Nazreen
her
has got to
roomie,
change
she's
his.
smiling. Look at her, she's just all quiet and smiling. Okay, and Deanna's smiling, and Akil won't even turn on his camera for me. Either will Nick. Okay, and I just still don't believe Nazreen.
Akil, you are very
have a
handsome,
serious-
Akil. Turn on your
We're
camera
gonna
now.
have to do some coaching and have a serious conversation, Nazreen, on that. Okay, and Ted is an introvert, so all of you are. So now here's another poll for us. So what do you prefer? Do you put your initials after this? Do you want to continue to work from home? Do you want to return to the office? You want a hybrid, a mixture of the two, or you're just not sure? There you
Are
go.
we doing this in the chat?
No, I want you to put it on the screen. I want you to put your initials, just like Mohed Nazreen has done, okay? Just click on the T on your annotate toolbar. Patrick has put his,
Oh,
so click on the T, then click on the screen.
annotate.
Okay, Warren wants to continue to work from home, so does Nazreen. Mala, it sounds like you want a mixture of the two. Okay,
So that I can do my work
Wendy,
and cook.
you got to
at the same time.
apologize.
looks
Wendy,
like
I got to apologize because, Wendy, I must apologize because I am actually not home. I am on a staycation at a hotel, so my internet connection is really bad. So I'm just going in and out of the whole Zoom meeting. My
Oh.
apologies.
No,
just go-
thank you, Deanna. Thank you so much for letting me know. We're recording this, so you'll be able to watch it later, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And by the way, if you're not able because you're on a mobile or for some other reason to type on the screen, you can always type in chat. Mala put hers in chat too.
Okay.
She's a mixture of the two. Okay, so please feel comfortable. Arumi and Patrick say they want a mixture of the two. Tez, that is quite interesting. You want to go back to the office.
Yes,
Okay.
because you see, my training has always been face-to-face, and I think I can do better if it's face-to-face. So I rather go back to the office, or go back to my client's place, basically.
Are you in the manufacturing world, Tej?
Yes, I'm in manufacturing world, yes.
So that's a bit different. In manufacturing, a lot of that is hands-on. I started out my career in manufacturing, and you're out on the shop floor, right? You're working
Yeah.
with people, and it's a little bit different where it's softer skills like what Nazreen has been teaching us and what I do and what maybe some of you are doing is okay for virtual, but it's very difficult to do manufacturing by virtual. And we've got someone who says, I'm not sure. Who says that you're not sure? Tell us. Please feel like open up your microphone and tell us why you're not sure. Akil, why are you not sure? Tell us a little bit more.
I don't know. I kind of like it, my class online, but I miss physical class, meeting with my friends and teachers.
Okay. So you like working from home, but you miss your friends, right? Yeah. So I know it's kind of difficult, right? Well, just remember how annoyed you would get sometimes at work when you're trying to get work done and then people come and talk to you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what reminds me. I like to work from home. I like to control it. So I want a hybrid too, a mixture of the two, but I like to control because sometimes I had to go lock myself in a closet to get my work done, right? I'm an extrovert and another extrovert comes and talks to me, or I'm an extrovert and I annoy the introvert next to me by talking to him or her, you know? So I like a mixture, but I want to control that mixture. I don't want my company telling me what that mixture is. So maybe that's what you're feeling, Akil. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for sharing this. Let me save it because I'd like to see these results. And let's go on to the next one. Now, the third trend is at crisis like this, we're going to see a lot of innovation. We're going to see innovation flourish, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, we were in the, we were leaving the industrial age and we were at the cusp of the technological age, just at the beginning. And we are firmly moving into the technological age now. We're not going back. I don't really think we're going back. Businesses are going to have too much money saved. We're going to enjoy working from home more than we thought we would. And everything's going to change. Even societies will change. Cultures will change. People, I think, might even become more xenophobic and frightened of each other. But innovation will flourish as a result of this. So look at I don't know when Nazreen started VLC, but he started it and he had the idea before then, but maybe this post-COVID period gave him that freedom, right, to create and create this. I never would have had the freedom to finish my coaching certification if I didn't have this time off right now. So innovation is flourishing, whether it's our own personal innovation and growth or it's the business innovation, right? Things are just changing so rapidly. So more trends. So everything is going to work on, oops, let me clear this. Everything will move online, which we're seeing. More companies will embrace work from home, which we talked about. Manufacturers will move away from just in time, and this could impact TEJ. So what's going to happen, they're going to, instead of just in time was they just had very short inventories, right? But they found out that when COVID happened, that everywhere people were running out of supplies. So what they had to do is they're like, this isn't going to work. And they may follow the Toyota plan where all the suppliers are usually within 50 to 100 miles of a facility, of a manufacturing facility, right? So it may mean that jobs may come back to local communities right now as a result of this. Let me check the chat. I see some things coming in there. Nazreen, you've got your hands up. Please, what's going on?
No, the moment has passed. I wanted to share that I designed the VLC last year, but nobody was interested.
Ah, so wait a minute. So that's a trend and that's an innovation. You designed it last year. They weren't interested and then COVID hit. Then all of a sudden you positioned yourself. You were ahead of the game, my good man. Yay. Okay. See, you see what happens? And we're here.
It was easier for me to launch it because it was already there while other people were still designing.
See, that's what happens with your forethought. Okay, are you an INT, Nazreen, with what comes to Myers-Briggs? We got a thumbs up from Patrick, okay? That would be,
I think so.
And then a thinker, right? You're a thinker? Okay.
Over a thinker.
Over. Well, thank you. It was not past the time. We got it right here on this slide. Telemedicine is going to become the norm, everyone. I like it. I don't like having to drive an hour and a half to go see my doctor for 15 minutes. Yeah.
Question, Wendi.
Yeah, Mala.
Wendi, a question. Telemedicine. I know a couple of years ago, telemedicine was the new thing. You know, people advocated that. Now it's become the norm as such. It's so easy now that you can get your doctor to give you a prescription and she can send it to the pharmacy. And if you're near the pharmacy, just go and pick it up. So that's going to...
Can I ask, what is telemedicine?
Oh, thank you, Nazreen. Go ahead, Mala, tell us.
Okay, it's like you can, if you have something that's wrong with you, and then the doctor can give you a prescription, and you don't have to go and see the doctor, and you can get the medicine delivered to your home or you can pick it up from the nearest pharmacy. Is that right?
That's one part of it. And
then diagnosis also can be done. You can send your telemedicine. I mean, if you have an illness, and you want, let's say a doctor diagnosed you of some critical illness, and you can send it via telemedicine to the US for a second opinion and stuff like that. Is that one of those?
That's it. And if it's non-urgent or non-emergency, you can see your doctor virtually. Either my allergist is telephone calls. I had my first virtual call with my doctor, and hospital systems have a special link that's connected to the software within the hospital system. Yes. And then, and Patrick is saying, yeah, sometimes you tell AI you have a headache and the result comes out brain cancer. That would be doing an internet search, and that's true. AI, you may not get the right diagnosis that you would get from a doctor, but telemedicine is basically like a telephone, but it's going to just be virtual calls with the doctors if it's not urgent.
But the question is, that still wouldn't reduce the wait time, because all you're doing is just reducing the travel time, isn't it?
You're reducing your travel time, but when I have to go see my doctor, I need to, for a 4 o'clock appointment, I need to leave at 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And I sit in her waiting office, maybe because she's delayed talking to people, maybe for 30 minutes, and then maybe I see her for 15 minutes, and then I have to drive home. So that could be, the other day I just was home doing dishes, working, and when her call came through, it just came through. It was a 10-minute conversation instead of a 2 or 3 hour ordeal, right? So that's what it is. Thank you for the questions, everyone. Hygiene, we're going to talk about this in just a second with a case study, but people want to know that the place is clean. Stella McCartney, Paul McCartney's daughter, was ahead of her time. At her special designer stores about 5 years ago, she entered special air purifiers. Our local theater here in St. Charles, Illinois, he has concerts. He installed now, because of COVID, thermometers that can detect if you have a fever when you're walking through the doors of the theater. So if you have a fever, that's it. And a whole bunch of businesses are putting them in. I just talked to a lawyer, and she says all the courthouses are putting those fever detectors in. Okay.
We have those in some shopping centers here. It feels like walking through an airport.
Doesn't it? Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is like, there was an Arnold Schwarzenegger years ago where they were doing this and they were detecting things. It just feels a little bit too much like we're in the future, doesn't it? Yeah, so, and then
I think hygiene has been enhanced generally across the board. A lot of people are having disinfectants and you know, they are wiping the floors with disinfectant, and that's an improvement. That's an improvement.
It is an improvement, and people demand it. People expect it. Businesses to state what their policies are. Here, it's always hanging on the door. It's on the websites, and people are going to stay closer to home. Travel. People don't have the money. They're not able to work. They're not able to travel. If they do travel right now, the internal domestic airlines are like charging $39 to fly from Chicago to Los Angeles, where, you know, a year ago it would have been $500, right? So travel's changing, and it's going to hurt the industry. And I think it was United Airlines is laying off, what was it, 30% of its workforce, right? They're getting really impacted by this. Now, so all of this leads to one thing. You need more data to take care of all of this, right? So let's move on to our SWOT analysis. Now, you did this as a pre-read. What is a SWOT analysis? Who can tell me in just a couple of words, what's an overarching definition for SWOT analysis? Your own definition. You can't look it up. You can't go look at the website. What is basically a SWOT analysis? You see something coming through in chat.
It's like your due diligence of a company or an organization where you find this.
It's getting clarity of where your company is standing, and also what are the internal and external areas which the company is facing, and they need to identify those areas.
Yeah, it's being used for strategic management.
Yes, got to use it for strategic management. You have to identify areas for your company, your industry. Mala's saying due diligence. Yes, this is something you want to do all the time. You want to do it for your company, for your industry. You want to do it for yourself, your personal, like your household. Did you do a SWOT analysis for your household after COVID? Everything you have to look at. So your strengths are basically things that you do well, that the business, we're going to look at our industry now or our business, what things you do well, things that are in place, and they usually feed into opportunities. That's why you have that yellow arrow there. So if you have a strength, that's your opportunity. Nazreen's strength for VLC was he already had it designed, so when the opportunity presented itself in 2020, he was ready to enter the market. Okay? Now a weakness is basically, the weakness is that's something that you're not very good at, and it can also lead into being a threat for you. Okay? Now, strengths and weaknesses are typically internal, and opportunities and threats are external. Okay? Okay? Now, this makes a SWOT analysis. So meet Amy. Amy is one of my dearest friends. I've known her since I've been around 15 years old. So it's been a long time. I won't tell you how many years, but this is Amy and her dad, Mike. This is in New York City. Amy and Mike own restaurants. They own 4 restaurants, and they sold 2 of them in December in Las Vegas because they said it was just crazy in Las Vegas to try to manage a restaurant. But basically they have a small restaurant business in Southern Illinois. Look at their boots up there. The ones on the left are Amy's boots. The ones on the right are her dad. Mike is dad. He's been a pit master, a famous barbecue pit master since the 90s. Amy was a marketing guru, and then she joined her dad's business. They have 2 locations in Southern Illinois, which is about 6 to 7 hours south of Chicago. Okay. Right now, in addition to the 2 restaurants with 100 employees, they are building a facility to make food. You can order online the food. Now you can even order frozen since COVID. They have their products are in grocery stores in Chicagoland, and she has a 5-year SWOT analysis. Okay, so she also has week-long events where they teach other people how to barbecue, and her mission is to be the barbecue capital of the United States. Okay, that's her mission. Now, she wrote a cookbook, a couple of cookbooks. This is her first one, Peace, Love, and Barbecue. Stories and like Peace, Love, and Soul, right? She's also on television, so you can see her on Amazon Prime. You can see her on the United Kingdom's Blaze Network, Food Network Canada. So she's all over the place. And that's a result of her marketing, connecting and meshing up with her dad's expertise in barbecue. Okay? So she and I spoke on the phone, and we did a SWOT analysis for the restaurant industry in general. So the SWOT analysis for the restaurant industry, and this may be applicable around the world. So I said, Amy, what are the strengths? And Amy said, Wendi, if a restaurant is able to have a drive-through or takeout, that's a strength if they had that in place. Multiple revenue streams. So Amy had, in addition to the restaurants, they also had consulting where they're giving those week-long events. Plus, she is on the travel channel, the food channels, plus she does festivals all over the country, okay? She also had a strong email list, and she said, Wendi, it's gotta be viable. What is viable? Viable is that it's good. It's a good email list where you're not blocked. She said you also have to have a strong online presence, which is you're on social media and you have a website, right? Now she said the weaknesses are if a restaurant has no technology. A lot of restaurants didn't have technology. They didn't have apps. They didn't have online ordering. And then the owners are not savvy with technology, or they hate social media. I'm meeting so many people that their bosses are saying, you got to get on Facebook, you got to get on LinkedIn, and they can't. Another thing is wrong employees, lack of training. Another thing she said is food that doesn't travel well. Like if you have a menu and the food needs to be eaten hot there at the restaurant and it doesn't travel well, you're out of the water, you're blown out of the water. The opportunities, she said, we're collaborating with other businesses at holidays, like 5 or 10 different businesses throw in their products and they ship it out to people. So the local orchard sends fruit, another orchard has applesauce, and somebody else has hand sanitizer, right? So they have all of these different things and they put it in a basket and they send it out. Outdoor dining, if you don't have a parking lot, where are you going to have outdoor dining? So that could hurt a business. Online ordering, if you don't have it, get it, right? Get someone to build you an app. Have somebody make some YouTube videos like Nazreen is teaching us for cooking online. Social media, you got to tell people how you're sanitizing and cleaning. If not, people are going to be upset. Food that will travel well, that's how a weakness turned, it's an opportunity for you to change your menu. Right now, she doesn't sell a couple of things because they don't travel well. Customers are getting upset. Now, lastly, on threats, she says the virus and the quarantine, all the restaurant owners here, if an employee gets a virus, they have to shut down for 2 weeks, the restaurant. She put on social media the other day, we're not quarantined, but one of my employees came in contact with somebody who had COVID and we're monitoring the situation. To make sure, we're watching him for 14 days. He is quarantined from our business and he was honest and he told her. Cleanliness and sanitation is, we talked about this several times. The other threat is angry, upset customers complaining online. Okay, what else can you think of for restaurants? I saw Mala, your hand went up.
No, just.
Does this make sense in Malaysia too, as much as it makes sense here in the United States? This is kind of a
yes, absolutely.
Restaurant industry, right? So this is something that you would want to do with your own industries or your own businesses. Do a SWOT analysis. And where do you want to go? And you can do a personal one, business or industry, right? I would say you want to do all three.
You know, Wendy, just
Yes.
one thought. Like, because I've worked in many insurance companies, and one of the things that we do is have a fund for catastrophes. Because, you know, insurance companies, and there's floods and all that. And so when a catastrophe, which does not happen all the time, occurs, then the company is strong enough to weather the storm of it and pay out the claims, because that's what they are in business for. So I think small scale industries and all should also save and keep aside a crisis fund in the future. So at least for 3 to 6 months, when they're faced with something like this, they can manage the business, pay their staff, and still operate without closing down in 2 months' time just because there's no customers.
Exactly.
A good learning lesson for everybody.
Well, a lot of the big global multinationals are being under attack right now because they're asking for taxpayer funding to bail them out. But they've been, instead of having these crisis funds or the emergency reservoirs of money and savings, they've been giving it to the CEOs and to shareholders. And then now they want the governments to bail them out and the taxpayers. And so people are upset. So I can see a future trend that legislation will change, that people will change. People are like, this is not fair. This is not, why should one person get $300 billion?
Absolutely, you're right.
Ask for a government bailout, right? So these are the things that are happening. So can you see this big, if you were to do a SWOT analysis in society, right? And what's going to change? That's amazing. So this is bringing about a huge transformation around the world all at the same time. So you've hit the nail on the head there, Mala, right? Okay, so, and any other questions before we move on?
No.
So I had another activity in case we had time. It was to go into breakout rooms, and we were going to maybe have you brainstorm and do a SWOT analysis for the learning industry. And so we've got about 4 minutes left, and I don't want to take up Patrick's time, right? But so I'm going to move forward. Okay. Okay. Patrick perked up there. Okay. So here we go. So this was a timer. Let me move this. I think I have to reduce it to move forward. Just
A bit like a dog. When I hear my name, I perk up.
Is that what you do? Okay.
Patrick.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Bueller. I don't know if you see that movie over there. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ferry Bueller's Day Off, yeah.
Yeah. Patrick, okay. Next steps, everybody. Okay, so our next steps are to go out into the Google Classroom, and I have a survey form out there, a Google form. It should only take you 1 to 2 minutes. I'm asking you, what did you like and what would you change about my session today? I would like to also ask you to commit to learning. Commit to your own learning by completing a skill and will diagnosis. I have a document out there that is related to your skill and will. Do you have the skills to do a SWOT analysis? And do you have the desire or the motivation to do a SWOT analysis? So to kind of do your own skill and will diagnosis. Then there's no due date on that. I just kind of put September because I know we're all busy and we're doing our presentations. Then complete the SWOT analysis. Only take maybe 3 minutes per quadrant, per SWOT to finish it up. And then if you'd like to go deeper and do a more detailed one like my friend Amy did in the restaurant industry, consider coaching with me. I'm running my coaching hours now, and I put my schedule out there, and you know my email, so we can set up a session and we can do a deep dive into whatever you'd like to dive into, okay? And then I have some more resources where you can read up on the new normal, but whoops, let me go back. This is what that the skill and will assessment looks like. And then I also have some resources here for you from the US trends as well as Malaysia trends. I did some research, so read up on it, stay on top of it, try to get on the mailing list so you know what's going on. And then here I am. I want to thank everybody for coming to my session. So it's Wendi Barlow. I'm a speaker, facilitator, coach, instructional designer, and a new revenue stream and opportunity for me post-COVID is I'm a producer now for webinars, right? And thanks to Nazreen, I can make videos in the VLC program. I'm also an expert in communication skills. I'm certified in social styles DISC and Myers-Briggs. So this is kind of what I do if you know anybody who needs it. And I want to say thank you to everybody. This has been a lovely.
Most welcome.
Thank you for your engagement.
Thank
Thank
you
you so much, Wendy.
your-
We enjoyed your session.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was very nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Terima
Mante,
kasih.
merci, 谢谢.
Thank you, everybody. By the way, guys, it's 8:59. Nazreen is keeping track. Thank you for your comments. And,
Thank you very much, Wendy.
thank you, everyone. So I'm going to stop my recording now. Okay. So hold on.